Actually, whenever we first went on quarantine is whenever I first got diagnosed with the stuff that's wrong with me, because it got really bad. I started getting really anxious. I started getting really sad all the time. I wouldn't get out of my room.
Well, and I feel like it just puts you in this hole that you're crawling so hard to get back out of.
But after the pandemic, once I got stuck inside, my normal anxieties turned to social anxiety, and now I struggle a lot with being in large groups of people.
We're already separated between opinions and such, and I feel like COVID sort of furthered that separation. So, we're losing our connectivity between each other based off our opinions, and I think we need to find a common cause such as mental health, where we can all come together with the same opinions and the same purpose to help accomplish the greater good.
Welcome to the Pulse Project. Pandemics had an effect on everyone, whether it's physical health, mental health, effects of being isolated, financial stress, and more. This project's designed to show you the resources you have available to help you move forward during these tough times. Welcome to the Pulse Project. It's been brought to you by Bank, Community Development Partnership, and Witted Media.
Welcome back. My name's Seth Witted. It's my duty to let lower to moderately income families know what resources are available to them here in Beaver County. Today I want to shine a light on the Youth Ambassadors program for all young folks who want to get involved. It's a program driven by the youth, centered around the youth, to shine light on mental health. We've been talking about how can we get through to the youth, what are they going through COVID, how can we help them? And we decided, why not let them tell their own story and come up with their own solutions? Shout out to the Youth Ambassadors program for helping me put this together. I'm going to step to the side and I'm going to let them tell you how they've been feeling and what they feel the solutions are.
Mental health affects people just as much as physical health.
It's different for everyone. Everyone's different, so it's going to be very different, say from her to me. So
true perspective on life.
Mental health is very complex. And so even just starting to try to understand that is helpful and just overall very beneficial to everybody.
So we are social people, and without good mental health, you really can't interact well.
Kind of how a person's doing, how they're handling their emotions.
It's how you function mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Mental health's really important to me because I've suffered from depression and anxiety. I have 4 mental disorders.
I've dealt with suicidal thoughts. I've attempted a few times. I've had really traumatic experience, and YAP has definitely helped me realize that I've been going through stuff, and they've really brought it to light, and I found ways to kind of not really fix, but patch up what I've broken in myself.
Yeah, depression definitely. I battled depression for 4 years, but Well, I had a therapist. And then during COVID, I kind of found myself, so.
I know for me personally, I deal with a lot of anxiety and stuff every day, and that can be a downplay on my days, but this program has helped us get through that.
Stress and anxiety associated with school, as I come to the end of my junior year, which is arguably the hardest year of high school. It's hard to juggle everything between sports, extracurricular activities, as well as your academics. And there's so much stress to keep your grades up and maintain a high class rank to help prepare you for the future. So it's been hard to juggle with everything.
I have depression and anxiety, so it can be a really hard struggle some days.
I also deal with anxiety and depression and stuff, but I feel my main reason as to why I got into YAP is because I have ADHD. As you get older, people will look at you as immature, and YAP just lets me express myself the way I want to.
Back in the day, I used to go through a lot of bouts of depression. It wasn't clinical or anything, but it was just an issue I struggled with for a short amount of time. But I feel that kind of changed me as a person, and now that I've gone through it and I think about it, I see other people with same issue. I see them very differently. I'm very admirable, or I think that's very an admirable quality, to be able to go through that and be able to deal with that.
Maybe someone else out there could be helped by your story. When you say you found some ways, what are some things that you do?
I found my love for horseback riding, talking to friends, hanging out with them, opening up to people. I talked to my parents about it, and they were really understanding with everything. I've talked to my closest friends that I've been with since elementary school, and they were really understanding and helping. Bike riding, I ran for the past 4 years of high school, and I still run to this day.
Okay.
And just finding new ways and new hobbies.
I try to listen to music a lot. I feel like music for a lot of people is like a therapy. I take time for myself. Like I sometimes just go in my room by myself and just try to like recuperate a little bit. You know, I kind of listen to music and I kind of write things down.
It's hard, and you just kind of have to take it one step at a time, and you kind of have to just let things go sometimes and be like, you know what? This is what's happening. I'm just gonna let it happen, and it'll work itself out.
I usually just go outside, live, do something productive, because if you're sitting in the house doing nothing, it's just gonna just sit on you still.
Sports helps me maintain my mental health. It's a way for me to interact with my friends, create new relationships, and honestly have fun.
Big on coping skills. I've learned a lot because of youth ambassadors. I have several like grounding techniques that I work on, and I work on with, I coached volleyball, and one of my middle school girls had a lot of anxiety, and she would get panic attacks during the game, so I've worked on those with her, which has helped me learn things about myself too, because that has helped me deal with that. And I write a lot, and that's how I get my feelings out a lot more, so I normally write and get those things out that way.
What do you feel like stopped you from opening up before, you know, you've seen the power in opening up?
I was really scared that my parents wouldn't accept like what has happened to me, and they would kind of just brush it off. I also kind of didn't think my friends would really care as much. I was always taught to kind of keep myself together and keep myself like in contact with myself and not contact anybody about my problems, and just bury everything deep down and just kind of deal with it. Life will move on and time will pass.
You have to make sure to talk about what you're feeling, because as that can build up, and then when you finally release it, it's far too much for anybody to handle, because they are also dealing with their own problems.
How y'all feel like COVID's impacted y'all?
Very bad. Terribly.
Yeah.
Terrible. COVID's, you have to stay inside, and like people who are even introverted are like, oh yay, we're gonna be inside, you know, we're not gonna be doing anything. But it's the mentality of I'm not allowed to, and like
whenever COVID hit, like my friend, like how many friends I had like dropped dramatically.
My normal anxieties turned to social anxiety, and now I struggle a lot with being in large groups of people. I can do it to a certain extent, and then there's times where I'm like, I can't handle being around a lot of people.
So not being able to be with anybody, it kind of just tore me down inside. I felt really lonely, like I really didn't have anybody during that time.
Being at home all day, younger siblings, mom had to work still, had to make sure all the kids were doing their work on top of doing my own work. It was just bad.
It really eats away at you, and to a point where you just don't want to talk to people anymore.
I still tried new hobbies while it was going on, and I found new ways to kind of deal with everything that was going on. I would have meetups with my friends. We'd wear masks and we'd go and just walk around, and I would go outside and ride my bike. I would take walks and run. I would go to the barn every day, hang out with my horses.
It did not affect me very much. I was very sad to be away from my friends and all that, but we interacted. We played games together. That worked out for me. But I understand how having that physical social interaction, not being with the people you've known and loved for a long time, could really affect you.
I think that schooling will pretty much be forever changed. There is a lot of a reliance right now on technology, and I personally am a pencil paper kind of person, and I'm very hands-on. I don't really learn well watching other people do things. I have to do it for myself.
I feel like schooling. Like most kids in our generation, they like really don't want to do school, and some of them just won't come to school.
Yeah. That people won't take mental health seriously, and that people will be like, oh, you're faking, oh, that's not real, like suck it up, you know, like you're being a crybaby, or like whatever the situation may be. And it'll just make suicide rates go higher.
I'm going for broadcast journalism, and I am going to try and work on eliminating bias in news and bringing attention to smaller issues such as mental health, race issues and telling all sides of the story. So I think that's like a really big thing for me, and I'm actually going to Michigan State for that. So
I don't think our generation is mentally prepared for when we grow up. A lot of us, I mean, I'm not going to say everyone in our generation, but majority, it's going to be tough for a lot of them.
Kids nowadays are just kind of in their shell. They just kind of look to stuff that they really shouldn't have contact with, like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. They look to that as a way to put a Band-Aid over something that's temperamental, or they look to suicide for that. I would like that to change a lot.
Politically, we're already separated between opinions and such, and I feel like COVID sort of furthered that separation. So, you know, we're losing our connectivity between each other based off our opinions, and I think we need to find a common cause such as mental health, where we can all come together with the same opinions and the same purpose to help accomplish the greater good.
Find something that makes you happy.
Even if they feel alone, they could talk to somebody or like go online or something. You might not be able to see their face to face, but if you can go online to like a support group or something, you might not have to show your face and like admit who you are, but you can admit to other people what you're going through.
I would say find your support system. It's always there. Sometimes it's just a little bit more of a struggle to get to.
Definitely don't let it define you as a weakness, because mental health isn't a weakness. It's something that is part of your life, and the more you talk about it, the more you realize a lot of people are going through the same things, and finding outlets to deal with that is really important.
Speak up. Don't be afraid to reach out to anybody. Someone will always listen and help if they can.
If there's anything in life that you want, take it. It's yours, you know. Yes, although there may be obstacles you have to overcome along the way, nothing's impossible. Keep pushing, persevere. Hard work will always pay off in the end.
It might not be easy, but just try to find something that you enjoy to help you get out your moods, and just find something that makes you happy for no matter how long it is. Just find something.
Don't be afraid to tell people you trust. Seek for help if you feel like you really need it.
I feel like I would tell them to learn to love yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you love yourself, it's easier for you to be like the person that you want to be and do things, and like more things become fun when you're just yourself and you're actually okay with you.
You have to love yourself first.
Right. You can't let nobody get to you. You can't let nothing get to you. You can't think too deep about anything. Just be you. Be happy that you're you and that you're here.